Settlers. They shouldn't be there. Get them out. Why are you still there? Excuse me. It's time to go. Chop chop. Thanks for visiting. I don't give a You expect me to hate watch this? No. I'm not doing it. I'm not hate watching. I'm agree watching. There are protests against Hamas in northern Gaza. Hamas have started attacking the protesters in northern Gaza.
I just came on because I thought you might be curious about Mahmoud Khalil because I knew him at Columbia. I could probably give you a lot of context about the guy that the news is missing.
That a group of settlers just Hamdan Bilal, who was sitting right here only a couple weeks ago, as you remember, as they were in Los Angeles because they were nominated for an Oscar for No Other Land. Settlers him, they beat him, and he had injuries to his head and stomach, and he was bleeding. Soldiers invaded the ambulance he called and took him. No sign of him since.
Is he I thought it froze. Okay, he's still talking.
Yeah. He won an Oscar.
Settlers jealous they didn't win an Oscar. Yeah. Why is this clip so long? So it looks like, isn't the most likely story now that the settlers actually attacked his area because it was outside Susia, whatever you pronounce it. It was outside there. So the settlers were attacking them. You know what? I don't even give a fuck. Bro, if they were trying to with the settlers, if they were trying to like block their road or if they were trying to cut their electricity or whatever, and then that's why he got attacked. I don't give a fuck. Bro, he was still right to do that. Like, settlers, they shouldn't be there. Get them out. Why are you still there? Excuse me. It's time to go. Chop chop. Thanks for visiting. Guy got caught throwing rocks on October 7th. I don't give a Bro, you expect me to hate watch this? You expect me to shit on Hassan for, I guess, calling it a lynching when it's not? I don't know if you would really use that word, but no. Okay, I'm not doing it. I'm not hate watching. I'm agree watching. The settlers, dude.
These are not little accidents here and there. This is a deliberate effort to dehumanize and exterminate an entire population of indigenous people. Okay? Anyone who presents this to you as like, oh, well, every army has like some crazy people that get out of hand or whatever is lying to you. Either they are the stupidest people on the planet.
Okay, I'm just going to keep on enjoying Hassan content. We'll stop it there. Let's stay with the agreements. Yeah, I mean, he's right. The settlers. God. Yeah, they are actually trying to get rid of an indigenous population. Yeah, they are. But why would settlers go into the West Bank and live there and then throw rocks at Palestinians? Why would they do that? It's because they want to make life unbearable for them so that they leave. Yeah, he was taken by the IDF. I don't know if the IDF were actually involved in attacking him or if they arrested him because like it was generally what happens if there's a fight, like the IDF will arrest the Palestinians and tell the settlers to go home. That's usually I think what happens because settlers get let off, cringe. But I think he's been released. I don't know if he's got comments on how the IDF treated him, but the settlers were definitely just like, they were just attacking. They were just attacking that town. The IDF also arrested a settler. Okay. He's in the hospital. Yeah, the settlers, man. What are you talking about? What do you want me to say? What? What do you want me to say? Those settlers should be thanking him and that entire village for like allowing them to breathe. Keep using the dehumanizing term settlers. Excuse me, what? Bro, if you don't want to be dehumanized, don't do a thing that puts you into a dehumanizing category. Squatters. Occupiers. Inbred. Aren't the Palestinian settlers since the year 700 AD in the West Bank? No? Is that how that... No? I don't know. You guys, just because I on people who support Hamas does not mean that I buy into this traveling Israel. Oh, the Muslim conquest people. Okay, then by your logic, everyone's a squatter, okay? Yes. By your logic, everyone's a squatter, which means if Gaza succeeds and Hamas pushes Israel back and occupies the envelope and then moves people in there, then I guess they're just as much settlers as you are, and just as much settlers as Palestinians in the West Bank are. Also, Muslim conquest was a lot to do with forced conversion. It's not like Palestine was empty and then the Palestinians are just a bunch of Arabs who came in with Muhammad's army, okay, from Saudi or some. That's not what happened. It's true of the 48 war as well, okay? Most of the Palestinians there were native for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So were Jews. Okay, UZ8 is a Jewish person who is descended from a convert. Are they indigenous? Like an Ashkenazi Jew who's descended from converts. Are they indigenous if they've ended up in Israel? Do you care? Yes. Why? How? They're settlers because Palestinians moved to Palestine to settle it. Same with Jews. You can trace their travel in 1830s. That's that's true of a minority of Palestinians from 48. By 47, 48, most of the Palestinians who lived there were still long, hundreds of year old natives. People migrated during the mandate, but that was a minority. I'm sorry. People who make indigeneity arguments and try to quibble over what is indigenous, what isn't, you're all stupid. There are two national groups who live in that area and they both have a right to be there, okay? If your argument is anything beyond that, you're you made it. I just described them as indigenous, which they are. If I'm using indigenous in the context of settlers in the West Bank trying to kick out locals, that's like the most valid use of the term in the world. There are protests against Hamas in northern Gaza. Okay, we might need Arab speakers for this, actually. We might need some Arabic. Anti-war protests. Is this just the same video over and over again? No, it's multiple. It's all from Hamza. All right, what are they saying?
الآن يهتفون برا 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 حماس تطلع برا من أمام مستشفى الأندونيسي كما تشاهدون شمال قطاع غزة. الناس انهكتها الحرب ولم ينظر إليهم أحد كما تشاهدون. شعب غزة لا يريد الحروب كما تشاهدون. الناس عامة الناس تسأل عن أنس شريف مراسل قناة الجزيرة. عامة الشعب لا يريد.
Are they shitting on Al Jazeera? What? Why did I click? Me. I don't want Chloe in Wonderland. Go away.
قناة الجزيرة. مراسل قناة الجزيرة. عامة الشعب لا يريد قناة الجزيرة.
Look at all these collaborators.
ها هم كما تشاهدون.
They want Al Jazeera to film them. Okay.
كما تشاهدون عامة الناس تطالب بإنهاء حكم حماس. تطالب الصحافة بتصوير ما يتعرض له الناس خاصة في شمال قطاع غزة وفي قطاع غزة عامة. يطالبون بالحرية، يطالبون بوقف العدوان على غزة، يطالبون بالسلام وإنهاء هذه الحرب عليهم. كما تسمعون لا نجد على لسان حال هؤلاء الناس لا يجدون الصحافة ولا تغطية الأحداث بما يتعرضون له.
رب الصحافة بالمستشفى.
ها هو أحد المواطنين يقول أن الصحافة قناة الجزيرة لقد دخلت المستشفى لعدم.
Okay. Link me the video. Oh. We'll get full translation, don't worry. He's saying Al Jazeera refuses to cover it. Yeah, we'll find it. Don't worry. We have the help. Warthongs confirms that he does not speak Arabic. I knew he didn't. Okay, chill. Where is Sulfur? Where is she? Run it through an app. That's boring, though. We need a correspondent. Do you know how translation apps work? They're horrible. They're disgusting. Oh, there's more. So we got the release of Hamdan. We did that. Bilal Hamdan. Yeah, okay. What does that say? Call Hagari. We refuse to die. The blood of our children isn't cheap. Should bring Hagari on stream. Obviously. Enough war. I mean, that can mean anything, right? But what they're saying here means no more wars. Okay. Let me cook. Get in then! Sorry. That was a disproportionate response. Oh, translate. Okay. We have it. Subtitles. Thank you, son. Thank you.
الآن يهتفون برا 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 حماس تطلع برا من أمام
Okay, here we go.
الآن يهتفون برا 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 حماس تطلع برا من أمام مستشفى الأندونيسي كما تشاهدون شمال قطاع غزة.
Wait, it's not Andalusian, is it? It would be Indonesian. There's not an Andalusian hospital in Gaza, is there? That was Indonesia, you're saying that, right? Yeah.
برا من أمام مستشفى الأندونيسي كما تشاهدون شمال قطاع غزة الناس أنهكتها الحرب ولم ينظر إليهم.
The translation is wrong. Like all of it. Every single word.
أحد كما تشاهدون شعب غزة لا يريد الحروب كما تشاهدون الناس عامة الناس تسأل عن أنس شريف مراسل قناة الجزيرة عامة الشعب لا يريد قناة الجزيرة. ها هم كما تشاهدون عامة الناس تطالب.
That would be Hamas's rule.
تطالب بإنهاء حكم حماس، تطالب الصحافة بتصوير ما يتعرض له الناس خاصة في شمال قطاع غزة وفي قطاع غزة عامة. يطالبون بالحرية، يطالبون بوقف العدوان على غزة، يطالبون بالسلام وإنهاء هذه الحرب عليهم. كما تسمعون لا نجد على لسان حال هؤلاء الناس لا يجدون الصحافة ولا تغطية الأحداث بما يتعرضون له.
رب الصحافة بالمستشفى.
ها هو أحد المواطنين يقول أن الصحافة قناة الجزيرة لقد دخلت المستشفى.
When they say TV channel, is that like a literal definition? Is that a literal translation of Al Jazeera? Is that what that means? Because every time he says Al Jazeera, it says TV channel.
لعدم تغطية الحدث.
The problem with Arabic is that no one agrees on what any word means, apparently. How are you supposed to live under these conditions?
Listen here.
Hello.
Listen, buddy.
Uh,
Okay. There is several words for channel. There is people that refer to channels as Jaziri. Because for us, we don't say Al Jazeera, we say Jaziri.
Oh.
So some people do refer that, and it's not exactly a word from Arabic. It's just like, do you know how people, for example, in your country, call a vacuum a Hoover?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, where like they use the word Al Jazeera for like, you know, the news network Al Jazeera as like a channel for news.
Okay.
Not really a word in Arabic, it's just used that way. But the actual word for channel is qana.
Okay. So what was he referring to Al Jazeera, or was he just talking about TV channels or TV
I
stations?
did not watch the clip because I just joined here you guys talking about the meaning of Al Jazeera.
Oh, okay. Do you
So-
want to see what he's saying with the translation?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Let me share screen.
Yeah, so I don't have to hear you twice.
Yeah. Okay, downloads. Give me that.
الآن يهتف.
Just let me share. All right. I think he says it near the end. He said it a couple of times, but
برا من أمس كما لا يريد عن أنس شريف كما تشاهدون الناس عامة الناس تسأل عن أنس شريف مراسل قناة الجزيرة.
Yeah, he's specifically referring to, as the journalist that like does work, the journalist for Qanat Al Jazeera. Did you hear him say Qanat?
yeah.
Qanat is channel.
Oh, so they wanted Al Jazeera to film what they were doing.
No, he's like they said they're looking for the journalist
Okay.
for the channel Al Jazeera, pretty
Okay.
much.
And then they say something else just after here.
جزيرة مراسل قناة الجزيرة عامة الشعب لا يريد قناة الجزيرة.
Well, they said they don't want Al Jazeera here. Interesting.
Okay.
ها هم كما تشاهدون عن حكم غزة.
Ceasefire.
كما تسمعون لا نجد على لسان حال هؤلاء الناس لا يجدون الصحافة ولا تغطية الأحداث بما يتعرضون له.
رب الصحافة بالمستشفى.
Okay, so they're saying that they don't see any news of what these people are like wanting. They don't want the war to continue, and they're saying none of the news channels are broadcasting what we want.
Yeah, like we're not being. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, yeah.
We're
makes
not
sense.
being heard.
Yeah. The media doesn't want to talk about this. That's what they say in the right wing and the American press. The media won't talk about this. Yeah. Okay.
I'm surprised I haven't seen, because like here the notion at Al Jazeera is like, I mean Normally they don't, like, because they fund Hamas too, Qatar, and Qatar is also like Al Jazeera is a spokes tool for Qatar. So it makes sense why they wouldn't be showing this.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
obviously-
I don't know like how close the connection is, but it's like if I'm watching that clip of Sinwar meeting with Al Jazeera people and calling them the Mujahideen and shit like that, like he obviously, yeah, it feels like Hamas and Al Jazeera get along quite well, but that was a couple of years ago. I don't think it changed. Yeah.
But the thing is, Al Jazeera gets well with every like radical in the Middle East, and that's how they get the best coverage out of all the news channels out of the Arab, like because they get the inside scoop with the terrorists in whatever country, in Saudi, in Yemen, like you realize all the Gulf countries hate Qatar. One of the main reasons is because of Al Jazeera.
Okay.
And the second reason is because like there's a group of you know how there's like sheikhs that can enforce what is like halal and haram. It's like a fatwa. You know what fatwa means, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So sheikhs can issue a fatwa. So there's a council of sheikhs that's from Qatar that every other Gulf country considers like a terrorist organization. So that's like their relationship is not good. So it makes sense why Al Jazeera is just constantly propaganda against all these Gulf countries. But then again, those Gulf countries started it by sanctioning Qatar with the Western countries, and Qatar still came out on top and like survived the sanctions, and now they're doing better than most.
Yeah, it's a very odd country. All right, that's what he's saying at the end.
ما يتعرضون له.
أبو الصحافة بالمستشفى.
ها هو أحد المواطنين يقول أن الصحافة قناة الجزيرة لقد دخلت المستشفى لعدم تغطية الحدث.
He said the journalists for Al Jazeera entered the hospital so they don't cover what's going on here.
Okay. Shit. We have another one if you want.
Sure. Anytime.
Okay.
I'm downloading the game anyway.
Apparently this translator couldn't pick up the first 10 seconds, but that's okay. Oh, it's because it's chance, I think. Okay, you see this one? Has it moved over?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything picking up there?
I can pick up words in there, but they're like random words from different people.
Okay, it doesn't matter then.
Like I don't hear like a full sentence from anybody.
Okay, let's see what's going on. It looks like quite a lot of people though.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's forced perspective, but it looks quite busy.
I mean, it would make sense if they're against continuing the war.
Yeah.
If Israel's like, hey, we'll stop the war if Hamas surrenders, but they don't want to surrender, and these people are definitely going to protest against Hamas.
Yeah, but it's more it's more difficult now because like so many different countries are trying to make these like Jordan has said they can have a Hamas in exile. Egypt has got their offer, but like Israel's in two worlds right now where they're like, yeah, we don't want anything that keeps Hamas in, but they also don't seem to want to accept any proposal.
They don't want any deal.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want any deal because they have a plan themselves that they haven't disclosed, and they want to do that. And like no, specifically this government, this government isn't just like anti-Palestinian; they're also just anti-Arab most of the time.
Yeah.
So they also don't want to work with other countries. I don't. I hate this country.
I appreciate your patience, guys. I just came on because I thought you might be curious about Mahmoud Khalil because I knew him at Columbia.
You knew Mahmoud Khalil?
Mahmoud, my first time on this Discord, one of the people who I was talking about and complaining about at Columbia, who gave me shit on October 7 was, none other than Mahmoud Khalil. So it's very strange seeing his face everywhere. So like I could probably give you a lot of context about the guy that the news is missing. But like so that's sort of why I joined, because I don't know, it's just interesting.
Whoa. Well,
insider scoop.
Yeah, I'm a journalist. What the yeah, whatever. I want to know everything because the newest allegation is that he lied about having worked for UNRWA, but I don't know if that's like.
But that's so banal. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm still baffled by this thing where, like, look, like it's like he didn't work as a liaison with UNRWA in the camps in Lebanon. He worked with UNRWA for an internship in New York.
Yep.
And everyone did the UN internship at SIPA. I did the UN internship. Like, is this like bad now? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just like
Question though, do you have like American citizenship, or can you be deported for talking about this?
Okay. On the one hand, I am a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
On the other hand, I am.
There's no other hand. That's it. That's all you need to say.
No. Like, dude, like they're obviously going to get the U.S. citizens, bro. Like,
Yep.
but yeah, like I think like that's the way it's gonna look. I did not intern for UNRWA for what it's worth, but like I don't know, like it's just like I worked with Palestinians in Lebanon and helped them get into college in the US.
It's over.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm basically Abu Abeida myself. Yeah, no. Look, in terms of Mahmoud, I genuinely think Mahmoud is a messy case. Like I don't know, like I don't think he should be deported, but in terms of his personal opinion, at least on October 7, it was favorable of the attacks.
Yeah, makes sense.
Favorable, like after we knew what was happening, right? Like so.
No, sorry, no, and okay, yeah. So basically, we had an exchange on like October 10th, right? And this was like a big exchange, and Mahmoud Khalil made certain that I ate shit for this exchange. But basically, wait, and I'll pull up the messages, although I obviously won't put them on here. But I will just read. Okay, I know. And so basically, I asked him if he thought it would be moral for an Iraqi Jew to break into his home that was taken by, the Iraqi government in the 50s violently. And he was like, yes, of course.
But they will bite that bullet because no, it would never happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so he said that. He sent me the stupid Kanafani video. Do you know the Kanafani video?
I don't.
Okay, there's this video of Ghassan Kanafani, who was like the spokesperson for the PFLP, and who's an author that you will read if you go to school in the Middle East.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Negotiate with who? There is no negotiation between the neck and the sword. Is that the one you're talking about? Okay, I know what you're talking about.
This video got us all killed, bro. This video's retarded. Yeah, so yeah, like that's basically the extent of Mahmoud. Besides that, yeah, like he was not the worst person, but he definitely was I think, rather supportive from like, definitely not from like an Islamist perspective of like, it's the Ummah, whatever. No, like much more from a perspective of, we learn about Frantz Fanon in our classes, and now real Frantz Fanon has emerged, and we think it's bad. Yeah, basically that's it. And that's Mahmoud. The second time I saw him, he was putting up posters for SJP at SIPA. And we had a conversation and a drink afterwards, and I kind of just agreed to disagree, and I wished him luck and hoped that nothing would happen to him.
Okay, I guess your luck wasn't very lucky.
I don't know, man. Yeah, no, I wasn't. But it's so interesting. Like it's just like I wish I had pushed them to be less stupid more. I kind of just gave up.
Yeah, no, seriously, I don't know how you have the patience. Like, I can't imagine being like face to face with these idiots in the US. Like, I'm lying, and I'm already like baffled by how stupid and nonsensical like their ideas are, because like they're not realistic, and nobody here takes them seriously.
It's not about realistic, bro. Like, they don't actually have any kind of...
They don't actually care. They don't care. They just want something to whine about. That's what the conclusion I've come to.
So I think they do care, but the manner in which they care is like a manner in which they're not really like what I've started to realize is that they're probably more optimistic about Israeli attitudes towards the conflict than any other group, because they think that if they can just read a name, like a list of casualties on the quad in Colombia and scream Intifada revolution, that suddenly Israeli students are going to be like, I was wrong. We committed a like it's just like a slap.
You know what happened instead? Israelis turned more radical, and
You know,
we've started getting more issues on college campuses from Israeli Jews complaining about certain. I don't know,
yeah,
I've never had an issue where someone was complaining about Arabic music being played in like the campus. I've never had what's it called, complaints between Jewish or Arab students. Like the way more fights happened after October 7th on college campuses between Jews and Arabs
I
than
think,
ever.
yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. But I think the other thing I would say is that it also is very clear to me that like Mahmoud Khalil is not like anti-Semitic. Like that is definitely true. Like that he's not.
It's a thin line, though. That's the problem. Like hating Israelis and anti-Semitism is just a
I don't.
very thin line.
I don't even think he hates Israelis. I think it's more so that he's just like, I
I
don't hate.
don't know the. I listen. I don't know the
White
dude.
South Africans. I
I
think we need to learn how to live in peace. Like this
I
kind of.
yeah, but I don't know the dude, so I don't know if he's anti-Semitic or not. But it is a very thin line. Like people cross it without even realizing a lot of the time.
Well, to be clear, that's kind of why, like, just to be clear, they didn't actually disappear him and take him to Louisiana 1,000 miles away because of any technicality with his green card application or anything like that. They did it because they used some really stupid, obscure law that's most likely unconstitutional, where the Secretary of State can arbitrarily decide that someone has crossed a threshold against U.S. foreign policy, and in this case, it's U.S. foreign policy of anti-Semitism. So if you like supported a Hamas action and Hamas are anti-Semitic, we can say, yeah, then you're anti-Semitic enough to cross the threshold by the Secretary of State, which is completely arbitrary. Like they're going after him for an insanely stupid reason. Everything else now is all post hoc justification. So yes,
it's a good point, but I think it's deeper than that. Look, okay, the case of Mahmoud is at least a little bit interesting because he did act as a sort of negotiator for the people who broke into Hamilton Hall. So there is that, right? And I don't know how involved he was in a planning capacity, but it's interesting, right? But put him aside, right? Look at the people who they're going after now. Look at the Asian student who just went to some protests, and what I'd recommend that you look at the people who Canary Mission wants to be deported. They put out a list of the top 6 students and members of faculty who they would like to be deported.
Wait, so we went from IDF or like border security in Israel using Canary Mission to vet people coming to Israel to now America using it to deport people.
No, but it's more interesting than this. The 5th person on that list I actually know personally, and I've known for almost my entire life. And what's interesting is here's what they think is worthy of deportation, and I'm reading the Canary Mission profile. He went to the encampment one day and played the derbekke and was filmed. This is it.
Yeah, no, I like this is why I stopped taking, like, I usually used to think Canary Mission actually went after proper anti-Semites, and I saw some profiles there where like, yeah, these people are insane, but then like 90% of the people on there are just people that posted about Israel negatively once, or someone that protested for Palestine once, someone that said free Palestine once. It's like all like very nonsense. Like it doesn't make sense why they're there.
In the case of Safi, and you can Google them because that's what they're trying to do, but it's literally 3 things. One, he played the drums in the encampment. So he walked onto the quad. He's a PhD student. He played the drums. Someone filmed him, and then he left. Okay. So that's one. That's a threat to U.S. foreign policy, apparently. Okay. Yep. 2, he runs a private business that practices BDS, a business that's been profiled by the New York Times. Okay. And 3, here's the biggest sin. He was photographed talking to Mahmoud. Not in Hamilton Hall, just on campus.
Are you sure there's no photograph of you with Mahmoud? You better be careful, buddy.
Yeah, no, there isn't, because I talked to him on the quad, but for what it's worth, at the same time, and at the end of the day, the government has its phone, does it not, right now?
Yeah, but so, yeah. Do they have a picture of you with him?
He's not.
No, but they do have access to that message thread where I call him an idiot, so perhaps that's exonerating.
Saved yourself.
Yeah, bro.
I'm just saying as well, though, like, even so he was Hamilton Hall is the one that they occupied, right? Is that what you're mentioning?
Yes, Hind
Yeah.
Hall.
Okay, and he was the negotiator. So even then, though, let's say he actually led the occupation of the building. Even that is still not going to be enough for deporting a permanent resident, because we've got case law for this. In 2018, there was Sessions versus DeMaya, where they had someone who was found guilty, convicted of burglary in the first degree twice, and he still didn't get deported, because you can't just be a felon, you have to be like an aggravated felon. And the definition of that is like you have to, it's a kind of felony where the ordinary case of the crime has a risk of getting someone hurt. But the problem was that the legal definition doesn't actually tell you what an ordinary case of a first degree burglary is supposed to look like and whether that risk is serious or not. So it was too vague and they left it. So the threshold is insanely high for deportation. So even if he was in charge of occupying the building, that still would probably not be enough for deportation. Yeah.
And plus, it's also not unusual for protest movements on campuses to occupy buildings. So I went to NYU for undergrad.
Yeah.
And and
you're getting deported, loner.
Where the
no. And basically, there was a huge protest movement around Aramark. It's a U.S. company that like is associated with like prison labor or something, and they made our food. And so, literally, students camped out in the library, and then moved over to the same building that the SJP people occupied. They did the same exact thing. SJP were in that building for a couple days. The students for the Aramark protest lived in the building for a month and a half.
Yep.
So, like, come on.
Did you say he was handing out SJP leaflets? Or
their argument that he was handing out the Hamas leaflets, which but no, like you can see in the video that he's not handing them out, that he was just in the building and he's filming. So like it's no, but like it's the kind of thing where like I do imagine that there is a gist of difference of opinion between Mahmoud and perhaps some of the more ardent people. Like I can imagine that Mahmoud was probably one of the people who like sort of had them criticize Kimani's stupid video of the guy who said Zionists deserve to die, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was the what do I want to call him? The guy who was, what do I call him? The guy who was at camp. Him.
Yeah.
That guy was nuts. Yeah.
Who screamed at me and said, "We don't want no Zionists here." I don't want them to deport him, but he's so annoying.
Is that person a migrant or?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so
No.
Have you seen
that person was insane. Also, I mean, there was it SJP. Was it one of their leaflets that was giving people instructions on how to turn trash cans into shields?
Bro. Like, look, like SJP is the most movement known to man, and it's
Students Justice for Palestine. Is that SJP?
Yes. Yeah. But it's not even the worst movement. Like SJP is annoying, but like
all of them are annoying.
Oh no. PYM is worse. PYM, Palestinian Youth Movement, cancer. No, like it's genuinely quite but yeah, like SJP basically is like
I think it might be easier for you to say which one isn't cancer.
On campus, Palestinian movements, nothing. It's all cancer.
Standing together, are they present where you are?
No, they're not in the U.S. Standing.
Bro.
Israeli.
Yeah.
Like look, like it's like they gave some talks on campus, but also look, like when I was at Columbia, I was trying to look for that kind of thing, right? Because I was like, okay, I hate the SJP people, which has always been my opinion, and then I'm like, where's J Street? Like, shouldn't they be really on campus right now? And it's like they're not. Like basically, you either do the Realize Israel LARP, in which you attack students and all that stuff. Look, like my actual issue with like Mahmoud Khalil is if you want to ban people for supporting a terrorist organization, you would have to ban like half the Jews at Columbia because they love the JDL and they carry JDL flags. Okay? On campus. There was a Beitar guy who nearly attacked me. Well, he had a picture of Kahan. Okay? Like, I don't know.
Based?
Wow.
Like I don't know.
Jewish Defense League. It's a it's a terrorist organization, right? It's considered a terrorist organization.
It's a U.S. listed terror organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it in Columbia or was it UCLA where they literally did like it looked like the First Intifada, where they were storming the camp and throwing stones at them and shit.
And those people are fucking JDL supporters. Who are they? Like it's just like
Yeah.
it, and they fucking dude, for fuck's sake, the brother of Mir Khan ran someone over outside the quad at Colombia.
Well,
Where are you getting that? Stand together is like 50 people in Israel. What are you talking about? There's like thousands. They're not
Wow.
like, it's not a big movement, but it's still not 50 people. It's like thousands of people in it.
I mean, so it looks like if like the problem is that like Mahmoud Khalil, if he has committed crimes, like that's not the reason they're doing this though. It just seems like
Yeah.
they've taken him and now they're just trying to post hoc rationalize because they wanted to use the most stupid precedent on earth to go after him. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My problem with Mahmoud Khalil is not the case of Mahmoud Khalil. My problem with Mahmoud Khalil is that it's going to be used to create an environment where really anyone who says the wrong thing one time online 5 years ago or goes to a protest, goes and is skeptical, goes to talk to people, goes to figure out up from down. It's like honestly, like if I was still on campus at Columbia, I probably would have gone on the encampment to just ask people what they're thinking.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a precedent. It's like a precedent. It's saying a precedent that the Secretary of State and the executive, without Congress, can just unilaterally decide, well, what foreign policy is, because that can change any single day, and then also to go after and use it as a bludgeon against foreigners that they don't like. That's the precedent. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. But like I do think it's funny that the news is trying to make him out to be someone who like has no position on Hamas. I imagine that gun to his head in a dark room, he's probably fairly supportive.
Yeah.
It's just like, but like personally, my perspective is that I would distinguish between people who support Hamas for global third world liberation reasons and people who support them for Islamic Ummah reasons.
You don't want an Ummah, brother? You don't
yeah,
want
but the problem is like that's been Hamas's whole thing. Like they've all like since the 2017 charter period or even earlier, like their whole thing is to reframe their goal into like through the lens of human rights, right? And like anti-colonial struggle. But they've done that for ages. Like Arafat did that as well when like he used to always use that like academic language. He'd say like Zionism is racist and it's colonial and it's neo-colonial. It's like, yeah, who are you talking to when you say that? You're talking to Westerners, yeah. Or Soviets, I guess. But yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. But
what are those sounds?
It's his phone.
It's his phone. Okay, I was like, are you like on? What is that app you tried to get on from Sundowner? Telegram. Thought you were on Telegram or something.
Do you know? Sorry. One thing. Do you know anything about this? That there's some kind of I don't know who this is from. It's some lawsuit by, it's American family members of it's Jewish Columbia students, Israeli Columbia students, and family members of October 7th victims are suing Columbia students, JVP, SJP, CUAD, including Mahmoud Khalil. One of the claims. There's no way. One of the claims is that 3 minutes before October 7th, SJP, that was dormant on their Instagram page, threw up a post saying, "We're back. Stay tuned."
Okay.
We're back. Stay tuned.
That's a coincidence. I'm sorry. There's no way that one of the Nukba fighters is standing at the gate ready to go in. And just text his friend in Colombia. No way. No way.
No. But there's a much simpler explanation for this, and I can tell you it. No, because I got those updates on the 7th. Look, there were Gazan students at Columbia in SIPA, and they had family in Gaza. Their parents, their cousins, their something. They would have known 3 minutes before the attack officially started that something was going on just from watching the rockets go out from their side, and they probably would have texted their relatives and said something big is going on, at which point those people would have, who are probably in SJP or involved in some capacity, would have texted on like Arab group chats probably an hour or 40 minutes before. Like if you talk to Gazans, they'll say like an hour before it got reported, people knew what was up.
Okay. Well, they just saw the troops moving, or because the rockets were fired on 6:29. So when they say 3 minutes before, I'm guessing this
So-
went up at what 6:26.
So then,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
there
no,
would have been probably movement within Gaza getting ready to do this
Well,
attack.
also when they talk about those civilians, the 1,000 Gazan civilians that crossed the border as well, I think it seems to be that they knew ahead of time as well that Hamas kind of like at the very last minute decided to tip them off. So
people, I think knew in Gaza maybe a couple hours before.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you say there was like an announcement from Hamas telling them not to film or anything prior to October 7th? Remember that? Like you
no,
made me translate it.
there were what were there? There were border
Well, the-
protests, but they were called off before the day.
No. You showed me like a thing where they broadcasted it on TVs in Gaza where what was it called? They showcased and they gave like outlines for what Gazans shouldn't do.
No, that's
They
old.
shouldn't
That's from during the war. That's the Interior Ministry basically saying that when Israel's fighting with us, like when they're bombing us, don't don't report on people firing rockets from the city, or don't report if a militant died. Just describe them as a civilian. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, it's
I
not
thought
that
that was
it's not
like-
that unbelievable. It's not that unbelievable. But whether it was Hamas specifically that told them, or it was just like an uninvolved civilian who kind of found out and said something, then yeah, it makes sense.
And didn't tell them who told like I'm thinking like look, like there was a Gazan student at Zipa. I'm sure her parents.
Wait, like, can't they track down who made this post and just like question him?
If they have like enough, they'd have to have a reason to be able to subpoena their phone and like that, right? If
I
it's-
think it's strong enough reason for you to be posting like 3 minutes before October 7th took place. You just post something about, like what's it called? ثورة حتى النصر, revolution till victory. Like
it's not the best OPSEC, I guess. Yeah.
No. But here's the thing worth checking, because SJP didn't have any meetings in September, but that doesn't. But I guess the question is, what you need to check is where they like did they have meetings the day before? Because I'm sure that they sent that email out at the beginning of every year, right? So one can imagine that email was
this is an interesting claim.
no, but it was just a generic SJP email that always gets sent out. Like what do you think about that point of, like, I don't know, wait, like let me see, because look, like October 6th is early fall semester, right? Yeah,
it would have been your first meeting of the semester, so it could have just been like a total coincidence. Yeah, it could have been. Neither would surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if someone just like, because I know that Sinwar and Mohammed Dave basically kept October 7th a secret until like, to most of their fires, it was a secret until days before the attack, or even hours for some fires. But it wouldn't surprise, because like how many times do we see soldiers from any army, even a professional army, doing dumb shit? Is it that surprising that someone might just text their mate in America and be like, here, heads up, big going down, I don't know, like 3 minutes ahead?
May I ask what the implication here is?
They're implying that
like,
someone at SJP had contacts with a Hamas fighter. That's what they're implying. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, I guess.
It could have just been a civilian as well, because I think civilians did also get tipped off ahead of time, or slightly ahead of time.
I like also think about the kind of Gazan who would end up at Columbia. I sincerely doubt that their parents were farmers.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, isn't it a time zone thing?
Well, no, you'd account for
actually
time
think of
zones. Well, if it's saying October 6th, America is behind.
Wait, 6?
This
six?
says October
Over-
6th is when the post went up, but it was 6:29 in the morning when the first rocket was fired.
Oh, come on. Oh,
So
come
what's the time
on.
difference?
Okay.
If you account for time difference, it makes sense because like if this is on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
The time
Okay.
difference is
we're-
6 hours.
Maybe
Wait.
Seven
Six,
hours?
East
It's like
Coast.
around 7 hours.
Yeah.
7 hours. Oh, because of daylight savings. 7
Yeah.
hours.
No.
Wait. Is it 7 hours?
I'm pretty sure it's 7 hours.
Okay. If it's 7 hours, that means that this could have been sent on October 6th at like 11:30.
Yeah, very late
yeah.
at night.
Yeah, just before midnight. Okay. Well, if that's true, I mean, it could be a lie as well. This could be a total lie by these guys. It could have actually, yeah. But it was sent on October 6th, so, yeah, fuck knows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these people trying to sue like students and all that, like the problem is that like these guys exaggerate as well. It's like all these stop anti-Semitism pages and all that is like they will just like put a target on the back of like anyone. Yeah.
Like, I think like the bigger story about this is that it's like this is an attack on like academic freedom in American universities, right? It's not like, I don't know, like as a Jewish American, like I find it very difficult to believe that like an institution like Columbia University or the University of Pennsylvania has like a genuine anti-Semitism problem like in 2025. Like, that's laughable to me, frankly.
I will say that I knew one of the plaintiffs who was part of the case that sued for like, anti-Semitism. And there was, I will say this, those who were willing to sue were very dishonest about events that happened. I know this because one of them was literally in the same class as me. And then there was an anti-doxing protest that happened. This was the only protest I took part in, which was an anti-doxing protest. And so basically, the protest happened at SIPA in the policy school, just like in the general area. It didn't interrupt any classes. And people literally wore tape on their mouths and just shut up and sat down, okay? This woman came out of her class. She interrupted her class that I was also in. She literally interrupted it halfway, stormed out of it. Talk to the students. Later, me, her, and one of the students who helped organize the protest, who had nothing to do with SJP, got a beer, and we just talked for hours on end. She seemed very amenable to everything, and even invited me to Thanksgiving with her family. And then she went and she reported everything to like the campus anti-Semitism board.
Whoa.
She reported the very protest, the people who spoke amicably to her and treated her like a wonderful human being. Like, yeah, like it's like it's borderline like sociopathic behavior. Like, yeah, like, and I do think it's part of the problem because it creates this environment where like you have to view these people as your enemy, because like how else are you gonna view them, right? Like, yeah, like if you try to have a normal conversation with them, they make you pay. If you show humanity, they punish you. To be fair, like she like never reported me, but she reported the protest in itself as like an anti-Semitic event. After everyone sat down with her, and it was, the principle was anti-doxing here, so like it was very strange to me, and yeah, I don't know, like that's sort of how I see it. The Israeli students were actually a lot more variable, in my opinion. Then the issue was more so like just a lot of American Jewish students who knew nothing about Israel but were naturally very defensive of it, if that makes sense. Which is fine, like, but yeah, like
I think that's definitely something I've seen. Like American Jews kind of have like a specific image of Israel in their head that like for I think like a lot of them has gone unchallenged until this war specifically because of like all of the like it's kind of an affront to their national identity and like sense of self that like Israel is doing bad things. So
yep.
Well, it does look like they've just an update. They've charged him. I think they're charging him with immigration fraud. Is that right? Is that what this reads as?
Immigration fraud.
Yeah.
I don't know
What the f- does that mean?
Well, because he lied about his work with UNRWA. It's just a technicality.
He technically didn't lie because he was an intern for UNRWA in New York, right?
I'm guessing, but yeah, like why would that flag an application if you interned with UNRWA's office in New York?
Well, it's that you're allowed to disclose it, but if you hide something, they might. I don't know how that works in terms of precedent, but
yeah, but this is work experience, and like I don't know, bro. Like yeah, like look, like I'm a U.S. citizen, but if I were applying for a green card,
well, actually, wait. Yeah, sorry. It's not just that. So they're saying okay, charging document. You're not a citizen or national of the United States. You're a native of Syria and a citizen of Algeria. You were admitted at JFK as an F1 non-immigrant student. Your status was adjusted to that of a lawful conditional permanent resident based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. The Secretary of State, number 5, has determined that your activities and presence in the United States would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy. This is the dumb law that should never be used by anyone ever. Then this one, application to register permanent residence. In response to the question at part 8, page 9, you failed to disclose that you were a member of UNRWA from June to November 2023 as a political affairs officer. So there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with doing this, with saying that you're part of, that you're working with UNRWA from this period, but I guess it's the fact that you admitted it might be. Like, that's a more valid reason, ironically, to have an issue with a permanent resident than the Secretary of State decided that you're against foreign policy in an adverse way. But if that's enough to deport, I don't know. It's probably a slap on the wrist or a fine, right? If you've done something banal but lied about it. I don't think we should be looking
for reasons why this guy should get deported.
Well,
that's what they're doing, though, right? Like, the problem now is that they're trying to combine all these things, even though I'd imagine in a vacuum, if you lied about working for UNRWA for, what is this, like 5 months, then it would probably be a slap on the wrist, not deport.
It's look, all I'm saying is that it's very good. It's very easy to go for a target like Mahmoud because you can probably find something that you object to in the way that he pursued his activism.
Yeah.
But like, I think the reason why even I'm defending Mahmoud is, and not online because I don't want to go to jail, but is basically because if they pull this off, and look at what they're doing with other students. Look at the Asian student who they just who they're trying to deport now, who's on a green card and has been here since she was 6 years old.
Yep.
They're also like attacking the funding of the Middle Eastern Studies department at Columbia.
I'm genuinely curious about what that's gonna look like because
yeah, that's why I came on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to create a very depressing campus environment, like that's for sure. But like, it's also going to look like I was a TA for a course on Israel Palestine during that semester of October 7th. Like how exactly was I supposed to do my job? Now, how exactly can I do my job now?
What's a TA?
A TA is a teacher's assistant. So my job was to lead the discussion sections. My job was to grade papers. Yeah.
I turned that shit down. I refuse to be a teacher's assistant. I don't want any more work.
I thought it was fun. And the prof was Israeli.
I think it's mandatory at a certain point for
it's even for me. What's going on in the United States is a bit insane. It's like a totalitarian state, only it's on our side, so it's good.
Yeah, and I mean, like they're like this is not the first like Columbia's the biggest and probably like one of the more important Middle Eastern studies departments to be attacked.
Looking like an Israeli war funds.
I'll tell you this much. I always wondered about what my life would be like had my family not fled in 1948, and now I know. Shit.
You'd be Seb.
Hey, listen, buddy. What do you mean, Seb? Seb is fantastic. Seb has his own village that doesn't need anything from any of you.
Wait, what village were you in? You were in the north, though, right? Your family was in the... Yeah.
On the border, first one on the border, yeah. Shlomi is the current name, but that's separate.
Shlomi? There's no place called Shlomi. What the do you mean Shlomi?
Google it. It's called Shlomi now. The historic name is obviously not that.
So wait, are you the Lebanese guy that came in like ages ago? Talk about.
Yes.
Oh, I like you. I think if you. Why do you change your name all the time?
It's like I think
there's a place called Shlomi. What the?
Where is it?
It's super far north, like the furthest north you can go.
It was the first town on the border, so historically it served as a stopping point for people going to Jerusalem.
Hamas have started attacking the protesters in northern Gaza. Oh no.
Yeah. I want. Well, it doesn't seem like in this video they are attacking, but I'm not sure. He is like a lot of channels are.
In the let's just have a look at it. What's happening? What are they saying?
تدخلت حماس لتفريق الناس كما تشاهدون مقابل المستشفى الأندونيسي والناس تقوم بقتلهم بالحجارة.
Hamas intervened and now they're dispersing people and people are throwing rocks at them.
Jesus.
Holy, bro, we're throwing rocks at Arabs evolving.
The
Evolving.
Yo.
The
It's
third
funny how
intifada
I'm
will be against
rooting-
Hamas in Gaza.
It's funny how I'm rooting for,
What, the stone
people
throwers?
throwing rocks.
Wow. Okay. Do we have any? This is a good segment. Okay. As we actually got to do an on-the-ground journalism interview. How cool is that? So it seems like the consensus on Mahmoud Khalil seems like a bit of a, but also definitely doesn't get deported and isn't even close to crossing that threshold.
Well,
Is that the
I'm
gist?
not sure if it's a consensus, but it definitely was. It was weird how the US did all of that. It seemed
If
like
you-
above the law.
Having bad foreign policy opinions is like you're right as an American.
I just
Let
don't
it
think.
stay.
I think how United States did it was very very dictatorship.
Like you would be, if you applied this standard, if the Democrats use a standard like this, you'd literally be deporting half of the Republican Party for being Putin Sims. It's like,
Based.
It's not just that. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, but like, look, like, I think that people should be allowed to have bad opinion. Like, look, like.
But it's not about bad opinions. He organized protests.
Yeah.
Yeah, but organizing protests is a protected right in the
You had people on the Republican side literally taking money from Russia to spread propaganda against Ukraine. That is literally one for one what they are trying to deport Mahmoud Khalil for. One for one.
I'm not defending.
What about Beitar, bro? Can we please just deport Beitar? Because I'm really tired of them carrying Kahan flags and
Beitar?
Beitar. It's the organization.
It's the fucking Israelis, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not Israelis. Beitar is like it's basically like New York Mahis, and they like run.
There's Beitar Jerusalem. Beitar comes from like the name of the team, no?
It does, but basically Beitar is an American organization that's meant to follow in the steps of Jabotinsky. So they do things, which is weird because it's weird because Jabotinsky wouldn't do this, but they do things like scream Muhammad is a outside mosques, and they like attack random people at Palestinian protests and beat them up.
The fans of the team are known as like racist in Israel, but like I didn't know it was like an organization outside. You can't say
there
that.
There are a lot of Beitars, by the way, not just Jerusalem. Well, I don't know if a lot, but it's like a name often it's not comes from the team, it's the other way around. I'm pretty sure.
Also, chat, he's quoting you, sensitive little me. Also, David in my chat complaining he was distributing Hamas leaflets. Good. Welcome to America. You can't do this thing all the time when you guys are like Israel's the liberal outpost of democracy in the Middle East, and then you just want to implement every authoritarian measure possible to let go of that reputation. Yeah, you want to be like Lebanon? You want to deport people for talking to the wrong person for the wrong country? Do it. Stop pretending to be the bastion of liberalism and then contradicting it every single time. All right.
I thought David was American.
Hey. Look. Okay, but in Lebanon, we only arrest people for like talking to Israelis. Everything else is allowed. But okay, only that crime, which is so funny. I hope we get rid of that law so that I can. What the is that a Nasrallah picture? That's fun.
Can we be demoted to like pretty democratic? And then we won't have to abide by high standards.
I just don't think it's about standards, bro. Like I just personally don't think that Ben Gvir should be the police head. I don't think this is unreasonable. This is my only demand. Can you like bring back Yoav Segalovitz?
Is it a problem that I don't even think Ben Gvir is a bigger issue than Smotrich? Smotrich is a bigger issue in my eyes.
It's so complicated right now in
I actually think
after October 7th. I really don't know who to vote for. Like I used to be kind of leftist. Now I don't even know what I am anymore. I think I was radicalized, but still, there's no one to vote for.
I have a party. You should vote for Moshe Feilen, okay?
Yeah.
As my Kafkazi friend would always say, Shas.
Arya Day didn't do nothing. Okay, he didn't do nothing. Okay, and it's just an Ashkenazi conspiracy that he did corruption, bro. Okay.
You're against Yara Golan then. You want the Labour Party.
It's
Who,
so
me?
easy to vote in Israel as an Arab. You just vote for the same party that doesn't do every time.
Hey! Why are you making fun of Ahmed TV, bro? Okay, every time he gives a speech,
Oh,
in the
I'm not voting for Ahmed Tibi. I'm voting for Mansour Abbas.
Yeah, but no, wait a second. I actually wanted to ask you about Mansour Abbas because recently he posted a video on Twitter that said that in his eyes, the Israel is approaching an apartheid state for its Arab citizens. Have you seen this?
Well, maybe not in law, but they are like funding has gotten worse. Like
For
has
sure,
gotten
sure.
worse. Yeah.
No. But I think it's insane for Abbas, who was always held up as like this kind of look at how much of a democracy Israel is. They have an Arab in the coalition. Well, now he's explicitly saying publicly online and in speeches that Israel is approaching a point of apartheid, not only in the West Bank, but for its Arab citizens as well. This is now his opinion.
I
Well,
don't think it's the reality.
It's not going to be approaching that. Maybe far in the future. He's in the government. Maybe he has reasons to believe that we don't know, or like in the Knesset at least.
So I want to ask Lauren Vox. I mean, it's a bit off topic, and I messaged you about it.
Yeah.
Actually, right? Who do you think broke this current ceasefire? Like, without.
I mean, they both kind of did, but the ceasefire was gone, wasn't it? Like, phase 1 was supposed to go into phase 2. They didn't negotiate phase 2, and they say that's because Hamas violated phase 1 too much with the hostage. I don't even. In a sense, they both did. Israel.
No, but
Israel. So phase 1, Israel was supposed to finish phase 1 by starting to leave the Philadelphia corridor. They didn't do that. That's clearly a violation. So that alone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The fact is that Hamas doesn't want to leave Gaza, and that's the only way that they get a permanent ceasefire. And Israel doesn't want Hamas to rebuild.
Yes.
So they don't want that either. That's all it is.
But
Doesn't matter who's violating
Israel,
what. Like,
I think it's no, but Israel signed this ceasefire deal right in the context that they will go negotiate phase 2. But if negotiation fail, then what? And the negotiation started before like the Philadelphia exit as well.
Did Israel actually try to negotiate phase 2? I thought they weren't even turning up.
Yes, there were negotiations for phase 2.
When?
At the end of phase 1.
I thought Israel was avoiding negotiating phase 2. Them saying extend phase 1 is not them negotiating phase 2. I thought they were supposed to negotiate phase 2 in phase 1, but they didn't do it.
From my understanding, they did try to negotiate.
Well, they said let's extend phase 1 so that we can discuss phase 2. But obviously, I don't think they were supposed to. That's not in the original. The original is that phase 1 lasts 42 days, then you go to phase 2, which means the only way that works is if you negotiate phase 2 in phase 1. Israel doesn't seem to have negotiated phase 2 in phase 1. They waited till the end of phase 1 and then said, let's make this phase longer so we can negotiate phase 2. So that's a violation as well. Even asking for that's a violation. Did I say that too quickly?
No, I'm just reading about because from my understanding, like I saw messages and stuff at there were board negotiations. That's what I remember about phase 2.
Oh, I don't know where those are. If those are there, then that would probably be different. But
okay, do you have any more translations, Boner Box?
Nope.
I have a question for you, Loner. Actually,
this something in stream chat if you want.
And this is going to sound a bit no, it's like I won't say it's hostile, but I'm just curious. Do you still think that the aim of the war at this point is to eliminate Hamas?
Yep.
Like even after like Bibi smiling like a Cheshire cat as Trump discussed his new Gaza plan, and even at this point, as they're explicitly trying to move them to Somaliland, like it seems as explicit as you can get. No, like and.
So he said he's committed to Trump's plan to develop the Strip. Yeah, that's a different name. I think it's not incompatible with them trying to destroy Hamas, but it's like,
okay. Their goal was originally destroying Hamas.
He is clearly taking on that fucking. Yeah, no, I think he actually. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, he wants to. He wants to clear the way for the United States to come in.
He wants casinos in Gaza.
Okay, here's the thing though. How dumb is Netanyahu? Like, I don't even think he believes this is possible. That 2 million people are going to get pushed out of Gaza. Yeah, I didn't actually know. I didn't know Bibi said this. I didn't know he actually just flat out said that there'll be. I know he said neither Hamas nor PA, but he said I'm committed to the U.S. President Trump's plan for the creation of a different Gaza. Yeah, that's mental. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like.
no, he needs to. He
the
needs to
fuck?
caress. He needs to caress Trump's balls so Trump can stay on his side. So that's
No, no, no.
it.
We need that. You know that AI video that Trump posted. That's what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are.
yeah. No, that's
our
like
vision.
look,
Trans belly dancers.
I just and look at the same time, like I do kind of see the Israelis' point in one way. It's that like look in Lebanon they like beat the shit out of Hezbollah, and then boom, like okay, you have an opposition, you have other parties, you have a government, you have it's pretty easy to see what the handover could look like.
Yeah,
Like
but you also don't have that same luxury for Palestinians where they have other parties to turn to. One exploits the shit out of them, one drags them into a war. Like
And exploits the shit out of them.
and
hey,
exploits the shit out of them.
hey,
So
hey, hey, okay. That's why Belad should open an office in Gaza so that they can also do nothing and waste their money.
I mean that idea floated around for Arab Israelis to take the mantle there,
I
but
I don't. I here's my question: why didn't Arab Israeli parties try to run in the parliamentary elections in like 2006 in the
for
West Bank?
Palestinians because they'd get labeled as like they would get in trouble in Israel absolutely for it. Absolutely,
Like,
they'd get in trouble for it.
but that's so. But that's so dumb to me. And I know that Ahmed Tibi gets hit for this for like working with like Arafat, even though Rabin told him to. But like it's just weird for me because like that would have been smart if you could turn the parliament in the West Bank into a parliament that is 15% for Ram, 10% for Hadash, 5% for Ta'al or something. Like that would be a dramatically different parliament.
There has to be a reason why they don't and why they why they can't. That's not like there's no shot these politicians who are just sitting there thinking about like their only purpose in Israeli politics is finding a solution for Palestinian issues, and then they just don't do anything about it if they had a chance. Like there has to be some barrier for them not to do it.
I think realistically, Arab, like I don't know, like I think people are very hard on the Arab Israeli parties. And I don't know, man. Like I feel like
I'm chill with them. I think Ahmed Tib is a bit like nonsensical when he talks because he just talks like slogans. Ahmed Tibi doesn't talk. He talks like how people on Twitter talk.
He gets fatter. Every time he talks, he gets fatter. Have you noticed that? He's been getting like morbidly obese this year. I think he's stress eating. He needs
Yeah, of
to.
course he's stress eating because didn't he get like slam dunked by a cop? What are you watching here, Lona?
Another
There's
video.
no
It's a
sound.
video from the protests. You ready?
There's no. Okay, let's see.
Alright,
Yeah.
this is another video.
Bit loud.
All I really got is نعيش بالحرية, which is like we want to live in freedom.
Alright.
Oh, هيا حماس إرهابية.
Fire. Don't they say fire, I'll kiss in war or something like that?
No. They said هيا حماس إرهابية, which means like hey, Hamas are terrorists, but it rhymes in Arabic.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. But this is a good example. But if the elimination of Hamas was the core war aim, congratulations, you're there. Okay.
No,
That's-
the problem is like it's been pretty suspicious, like right from the beginning. Suspicious, at least, that like Netanyahu just has never been willing to indicate anything that he would accept for an alternative to Hamas in Gaza.
Yes.
He just says get
It's
rid
a
of Hamas,
really-
but he doesn't say anything after that. And on it, yeah, if he could snap his fingers and just everyone in Gaza disappears, he would do it, right?
We could
It's just that, like, he wants to
we
find a
could
way to get
leverage-
rid of them that's
we could
plausible.
leverage
but
this.
what?
Definitely. I'm saying we could leverage this. Like if people are protesting, we could definitely like why don't we distribute the aid?
You
like,
can't.
Israel itself.
Israelis, like the Israeli government can't because you will not be trusted by these people, even if they hate Hamas right now.
Yeah, but I think it's deeper. What the Israelis should do is that they should push up candidates covertly, like they did with Dahlan in Gaza. But they
And also, sorry for cutting you off. And also, if you guys like try like helping these protesters against Israel, Hamas can use that to their advantage and start
Yeah, you're right.
shifting the
You're right.
focus in off
You're
them.
right. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, we
Like,
got
it's like-
there are Arab countries who want to do it, though. I don't know if they want to send men in, but like Jordan wants to replace Hamas. Like Egypt implicitly.
It's a lot more
wants
complicated. It's a lot more complicated. You have to have an Arab country, like maybe Qatar. Qatar is probably one of the only countries that Gazans wouldn't hate. But the rest, the Gulf countries, or like Jordan, Egypt, all of these countries are massively hated by Gazans.
There's a poll on this. What countries think about all these different countries? Satisfaction with Arab and regional actors. Highest rate went to Yemen. Okay. Hezbollah, then Qatar, then Iran, then Jordan and Egypt, then UAE. I mean, because Jordan and Egypt has still been distributing, and UAE have been distributing aid in Gaza.
So my guess was correct. The highest non-terrorist like people are Qatar. It's like the rest are terrorists.
Let's see. No way. Okay. Hezbollah, Qatar, Iran, Jordan, Egypt, UAE.
Saudi Arabia is the least liked, you know.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Yemen.
Which is weird.
We're not having the Houthis in Gaza. Okay, it's not happening.
Qatar is rated higher than Hamas apparently.
Yeah.
No, man. It's like I think the Qataris, if they actually run Gaza, they would just drown it in money.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Do you see how Qatar is built? It looks like a museum as a city.
No, bro. Like I think it's probably not the worst idea actually. My impression of Qatar, and this is just my impression of them, is that Qatar is basically trying to hedge their bets. And the thing is, they can't make as many inroads with Fatah as they could with Hamas. And if Hamas ended up in a favorable position, then the Qataris would stand to benefit. Because Qatar always wants to be like a sort of counter center to the Saudis in the region.
Yeah, they also want to always benefit from a deal. They don't want to lose out on a deal.
You know, and so then that's the logic. But like, yeah, like, do I think that the Qataris are like singularly devoted towards the destruction of it? Like, I honestly do not think the Qataris think like this. I think the Qataris, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I genuinely do think that Qatar isn't what. Like, I don't know, yeah, like, I just think that Qatar likes to play all sides. That's what they did in Libya, bro. They like funded like two different sides at once. In Egypt with the Muslim Brotherhood. Because like they're a lot more secular at home than like the Muslim Brotherhood is in Egypt. Like, but this is intentional. Like, it's like I don't think that Qatar had like an ideological affinity or
But that's the point. The best option for Israel and Palestinians in Gaza is Qatar, and thankfully they're like one of the highest rated like non-terrorist group. Because it was Yemen, it was Yemen because of the Houthis, and then it was Hezbollah. And then it was Qatar, and Hezbollah was like 1% more, right? It wasn't even that high up.
Holy dude! I have a solution. What if we gave Gaza to Nabih Berri? Do you know who that is or no?
Yeah, he's the eternal. He's the only constant in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Him and the Hashemites.
What if we gave Gaza to Berri? This is what we're going to do.
Give Gaza to Loner.
Can I watch? We need to watch this one. Is this real? Okay, Mayor of Beit Lahia. Wait, Beit Lahia is the one in the. Wait, that's not north, is it?
Yeah.
It's Beit Hanun is north, isn't it? Oh. I got them mixed up. I always get them mixed up. Which one is?
A lot of bits.
Which one's the northeast? That's Beit Hanun, right? Oh, it's Beit Lahia and the northwest. Oh, they're right next to each other. Why am I being such a idiot? Okay, yeah. Beit Lahia is right north center. Okay, cool. Okay, at the tip. Okay, this is the mayor apparently. I don't know.
عن حماس اسمعنا هاي المخاتير كلهم يا جماعه ايوه خليكم هنا ايوه
الناس مش عايزين حكم حماس انتهى خير الكلام ما
The rule of Hamas is over.
كل الناس اللي بتشوفهم هذول كل الناس الموجودين
all the people you see here
والشباب مش عايزين هذا
from the young to the old, they don't want Hamas here. They destroyed our homes, they destroyed our lives, killed us. In all of Beit Lahia. We're all united as one to end the rule of Hamas. Allahu Akbar. Rule and evil. By the way, I'm translating only the main points. Because they rant like there's no rocks left, there's no trees left. I'm not translating all that. What are you? No, I'm not translating like that, bro. What the?
Why not? Dude,
I
add
fucking
some
hate
passion.
like
Add some
speech,
passion
bro.
as well.
You realize it's Ramadan and I'm
Like,
fucking tired, okay?
He was being very dramatic. I think at one point he even said, "No wait, are you sure that he said shabab, Sav?" 'Cause to
Yeah, he
me,
said
I-
shabab.
Oh.
Shabab, shbar, zgar, which is like, you know,
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
the
So
young,
that's-
the men, and the old. So basically, shabab is like used for like men that are like not middle age, but like young men, which is like 20s, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know.
The youth, but shabab is the youth, but it's not really used as the youth because
Yeah,
the youth is like it's younger than shabab.
What I'm really excited for is how all of this will absolutely not be used
Do anything.
as a means to say we have achieved our war aim. We have done it. We have finally turned the Palestinians away from Hamas. We have achieved our war aim.
All right, let's watch this. 1 minute left,
Continue.
okay? Just tell me to pause it if you want time to do the bit. Yeah.
100 people from this specific family that I didn't hear the name of got killed.
Whoa.
40 سنة عشان واحد سد الدار 40 100 واحد من دار البراوي ايش
40
مش احنا حكم
Just saying numbers to be
ان شاء الله
Yeah, he just said numbers. 40 100 واحد. شو 40 100 واحد؟
يحكمنا احنا بدنا نعيش بكرامة ونعيش باحترام ونعيش
We want to live in can you pause? Karama. In respect and dignity and respect and yeah, we want to live with in dignity and respect.
Okay.
Fuck, finding the words for the things they say in Arabic sometimes is really hard.
باقي شعوب العالم فيش مظلوم الا الشعب الفلسطيني هذا
In all of the world's nations, only the Palestinian people are mazloom.
Oppressed in this way.
Oppressed, yes. Mazloom is oppressed. It's not really oppressed, but yeah, oppressed is a good word for it.
احنا منا هذا الكلام اللي بنعمله خطأ احنا بدنا نعيش والحراك تبعنا غير مسيس عفويا مالناش دعوه لا بحماس ولا بفتح ولا بالجهاد ولا بأي
And this conversation that we're saying, this speech that we're doing is not political. It's not for anyone. It's not for Hamas. It's for us to live.
It's not for Fatah too. He said that. He said.
Oh, I didn't hear for Fatah. Did he say for Fatah?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not for Hamas. It's not for Fatah.
Okay, there's more. There's more. These protests look big. They look bigger than.
Yeah, I hope they stay big. I want Hamas out. I want these people to get a respectable life for finally.
All right. This is about where's the press, where are the journalists. Okay, bigger.
I probably don't have to tell you that I can't make out any coherent sentence.
Yeah, no, we'll get to the. We're just watching.
I can't make out the chants. What's that?
The translation here is saying is where's the press, where are the journalists? I don't know if that's it.
Oh, when is Sahafi? Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Oh,
See, it doesn't sound like that when you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, no, that's not what I heard. I heard the Gaza something. Gaza.
I heard
Like,
where's the wood? I heard, where's the wood?
When in Khatabe?
When in Khashabe? See, it's like, so, this is why I hate Arabic. It all sounds so similar. It could sound so different.
It's just that honestly, it's that Fallahi sounds like garble. Okay,
There's absolutely no way they said Fain. They said Wayne El Sahafi, not Fain. Fain is like Egyptian as.
Well, you know that Gazans are Egyptian, okay?
No, they're not Egyptian. They're closer to our dialect than Egyptians.
No. Okay, I'm sorry, but the informed
Listen
told
here.
me that Gazans are
Listen
Egyptian.
here, you Lebanese. Don't tell me how Gazans speak, okay?
By the way, apparently the protests spread to sovereign Gaza as well.
That's big, man. Jeez.
They just have to take over the tunnels.
The fuck?
No.
Okay.
Holy Sev, it's like you really are assimilated, man. You're such
no, I hate Israel. Here, listen here, you Palestinian in denial.
Stop! Watch the video.
Thank you.
Where's that KP, bro?
Yeah.
Hamas تطلع برا. Hamas goes out.
Holy.
It's gonna get you.
This shouldn't be like a sentence, but like it's Noah Samson molding right now. I shouldn't be looking at this and saying like, yeah.
That's what
it's interesting to think that Noah Samson's molding right now at
Bro,
these Gazans.
I hate your type of person the most. Adam, instead of thinking, oh my god, Gazans might actually get to live under a proper...
I've been saying that for the last 2 hours. Let me spare one thought for Noah Samson, who is upset that these guys are taking down Hamas. What the? I just don't know why that's even a concept that like that Noah Samson's molding. Because okay, this is an Al Jazeera journalist who is yeah, apparently he's an Al Jazeera journalist, but I don't know what he's saying here. I think he's with the protesters though, right?
It looks like he's saying end the genocide, but not like against Hamas.
Yeah, probably not.
Tweet.
Let's see.
We are a nation of peaceful people. We don't want to live. Get it to everyone, get it to all the governments, get it to all the people in rule that we are peaceful. We want to live. We are finished. People don't have money, they don't have food, there's no place to go. Where are we gonna go? Live, we want to live. And now they're just erupting a chant, we want to live, we want to live.
Is this not part of the same protest?
It sounds like it's the same protest, but they didn't mention Hamas in this.
Someone was... Where was this?
He's trying to push the narrative from Qatar.
It said so.
No, he's kind of like, we want to live, to change the subject to that instead of like anti-Hamas outright.
That's what someone on Twitter was saying, but I don't know.
I mean, that's what it looks like from what he's doing, right? That's how Al Jazeera...
Yeah, but you didn't come up with that from watching this. That you came up with that because I think someone tweeted that. This was retweeting it.
Well, from the translation of the tweet.
Oh, the translation of the tweet is trying to reframe it. You mean?
Yeah, but
this is the Al Jazeera journalist who they're talking about, isn't it? Anas.
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy. Oh, this guy. Okay, this guy's the protester then. Okay, so the Al Jazeera person is trying to spin what this guy's saying to stop it from sounding like an anti. Because this doesn't sound like an anti-Hamas.
Yeah,
this sounds like Oh,
it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like anti anything, but just like anti the war.
Because they were shitting on this guy earlier. Yeah, they were shitting on us earlier. I think, weren't they?
Anyways, I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So he's trying to spin it. I see.
Hello?
Oh shit. Shambles.
So,
Al Jazeera and shambles. What the
Shalom, loner.
I know.
Because translated is thirsty work.
So yeah, like right now is an impactful day. The Israelis, if they were serious, could use this as a means to literally just stop. They could, but they won't.
Yeah, they don't give a
No. Like this is actually not a good scenario for them. They would rather like it's like I'm sorry, but if they could choose between being able to kick the Gazans out or like having to deal with like an uncertain peace with like jaded Gazans, it's like the first every single time because there's a guarantee in their eyes that the conflict will end, versus this will not end the conflict.
Yeah, because all these right wingers are like listening to Mordecai Kadar and going like, you see, this is a good idea. That's with a good idea. A temporary peace.
It's that accent is I wouldn't say it's spot on, but it's like a caricature of like being spot on.
It's pretty good, honestly, man. Yeah, it's like they use like these obscure It's like the concept of taqiyya, bro.
Yeah, the taqiyya concept is some of the most annoying I have ever heard.
About taqiyya or Israelis, bro. Like it's like nobody else knows about taqiyya. And anyway, you wouldn't use taqiyya to lie about a foreign conflict. That's not how you use taqiyya. It's meant to like protect Shias from getting murked by Sunnis.
Hey, it's not just Sunnis, okay? Don't put the blame just on us. The fuck?
Okay, I'm I'm sure that the Christians in Iraq.
I would like to remind you, Hezbollah was airstriking Sunnis in the north. Just saying.
No. Okay, that was guys. That was.
Why would you say it's baseline?
I didn't say anything.
No. Okay, that was just step 96 on the road to Al-Quds. Okay, the road to Al-Quds runs through Dar'a. Okay,
they're clearing the road.
It's the long way around.
Yeah. Right.
Us got killed. I did say something about this. Also, did you see the story about the co-director of like No Other Land? Settlers attacked him and he got taken by the IDF.
The Israeli story is that he was throwing rocks, and they presented a video of him throwing rocks.
Yeah, but he was throwing rocks at settlers who were attacking his town. The settlers came to him. He was throwing rocks, but I think it's like defensive.
It was
okay. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck if he was attacking the settlement, though. I don't give a shit if that's how it went. I don't care. But
no, but that's the issue I told you about the West Bank. The biggest issue is like settlers try to start trouble because they know the IDF would protect them in the process.
Bro, there's no fucking way. Why? How did Jackson Hinkle get into Yemen, bro? Is he? Wait, he might not be. He might just be in South Lebanon, and found a destroyed house. But
Drew Binsky went to Yemen. It's not hard to go to Yemen. You just have to.
You just need a Somali pirate to sneak in.
Is there any way of OSINT locating where he is? Because he was in a room with a bunch of Houthis. I don't know if he's actually there. What's he? How?
Where is he there? 1 sec.
Mate, Hassan's got nothing. Hassan said this was too dangerous. Look at this. What's he saying? He'll be saying that they. Did you see the Fuentes Hinkle drama? Yeah, it was good. Hang on, change windows.
We are here in Yemen, specifically at the location in Sana'a, which was bombed by the United States late last
I can't take this seriously. He's gonna make me laugh at a bombing. What the fuck?
But this doesn't look like Yemen. It's too green.
But the Houthis live in the hills, don't they? There are green parts of Yemen. What?
No, it's true. But he's saying he's in the capital. He's saying that he's in
he's in Sana'a.
Yeah.
Sana'a does look very. It looks like it's got the Breaking Bad filter on it, but it's but it doesn't. It's just like. No, there are green parts of Sana'a. There's mountains and hills. Shit.
Or maybe he's next to the Movenpick.
Yeah. No, I think he might actually be there.
We're all living very close by, and this attack by the United States, it killed 5 people. 14 individuals were injured.
Make it 6. Come on, make it 6.
Civilian zone. There were civilians walking around who were killed. Why the hell are our taxpayer dollars being used to kill civilians halfway across the world? For what? For Israel?
It is sure a shekel saver. Here's some for your mod team undying effort to keep your chatters financially viable.
This is this guy's a fugitive, bro. What the? But yeah, he met with Sari, yeah, the Houthi. Who's Sari? Is he the military guy or is he the spokesperson? I can't believe he's doing this.
I don't understand. The United States was founded on a revolutionary tradition. They called the founders of our country war criminals. The same exact term that is used to label the civilians here who are fighting for their sovereignty and their future.
I am a terrorist supporter. I am a terrorist supporter. I am a terrorist supporter.
The people here are being targeted because they stand with Gaza against the genocide, and for that, their families, their loved ones, innocent civilians are being targeted. You can see behind me, the scorched earth goes all the way back there to the surrounding buildings. These are all civilian homes. The surrounding buildings were also impacted, and now people cannot live there. America, is this where you want your taxpayer dollars going? Our cities are falling apart, but instead of fixing that, Donald Trump is doing exactly what Netanyahu wants him to do, which is getting involved in another endless war halfway across the world.
You think this is attractive?
This needs to come to an end. And to those of you on the USS Harry Truman, you do not have to listen to the commands of your commander-in-chief. You can choose to consciously object committing these war crimes on a daily basis and killing innocent civilians.
You know, man, I'm sure
That's
that
better.
Fucking unbelievable, man. What the? Why is he there?
I wonder, would they deport him for this?
No.
I hope so, because he's like a person I would. No,
You can't really. He's not. He's an American citizen. They're not. Where are you going to deport him to?
But like again, like you're allowed to
El
think
Salvador.
that you can be bombing the Houthis in Yemen. Actually, like it's just like you're allowed to have that opinion. You're
Yeah, but he's definitely got some kind of problem with the fact that he's literally doing propaganda with terror organizations and hanging out with them and shit like that. Like he's not going to get revoked his citizenship, but he's gonna. You think the American system lets people like that just come back as if nothing happened?
If their name is Jackson Hinkle, yes.
Yeah.
If their name is Ahmed al-Islami, no. Ahmed al-Islami.
Bro, that's like that guy's like a. Yeah, that's the material support threat. That guy's like a. He's a traitor. Yeah. It's so weird.
I got sent a random video being told I sound like this person.
Apparently, these protests in Gaza are all over the Israeli media right now. Is that true?
All over the Israeli media?
Yeah. Is it on like
Pull up
I-24?
channel 14 right now. Pull up channel 14 right now, Seth. Come on, do it.
Hold on. I don't know if I can put channel 14 on this device I have, but I can probably do like Al Jazeera on it.
Lorderbox is so Orientalist, he thinks the 9/11 hijackings happen in the hills. Yeah. You telling me they didn't? What the? There's a segment in channel 12. What's your solution to MAGA communists doing Houthi propaganda in Yemen? Are you trying to build me up for
airstrikes?
Is that what you're trying to do? Apparently, a senior Hezbollah commander just got killed today.
Proper TV.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, this is it. Al Jazeera's journalist who hid while the protesters were looking to anyone to cover the anti-war and anti-Hamas protests is working to change the narrative and the demands of the protesters. We want an end to the war and Hamas to step down from ruling Gaza. Yeah, that's what they're saying. And then this Al Jazeera journalist who they were chanting about and shitting on earlier is just translating the guy into stop the genocide. Yeah. Demand an end to the war and the genocide. Reframing. What about a solution for the city of Jenin? Bro, I don't want to airstrike Jenin. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're trying to bait me. Oh yeah, what's this? This is another UN spokesperson moment. So this is the UN Secretary General's spokesperson being asked questions, I think about famine this time.
Actually occurring in Gaza during the war.
We talked about the very severe risk of famine. Those studies were done by the IPC, which is not which is a group of.
There's something I have to do before I leave.
Yeah.
Play Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So, yeah.
UN agencies and also a group of non-UN agencies, American, German, Europeans, and others, who've established a scientific method to talk about hunger, to classify hunger, and we stand by their findings. One thing we don't have, we may have the UN have the world's most recognizable logo, but there's no brand management. There are a lot of people who can speak on quote.
Is there someone laughing in the crowd? What the
management? There are a lot of people who can speak on quote behalf of the UN. I'm speaking on behalf of the Secretary General. What we've said here. And what others have said.
UN News Center. I'm not talking about the special experts or anything. I'm talking about the UN Central News Center. Extreme hunger and famine.
Well, there's a. We could go on for a long time.
Bro, why does this guy always talk like he's got a gun to his head? Every time I see this guy answering questions, he talks like he's got there's a gun to his head. I don't know why. He's the same guy that said that apparently the UN had no idea that tunnels were being built in Gaza. He was the same guy who was saying that the UN were no longer accepting IDF assistance to bring aid trucks into the Strip. And they asked him, okay, well, what do we do? And he wouldn't answer. He just his only answer was stop the war. That was all he said. For aid distribution, when that's your job, that's not really, you can't just say that. That's not really going to work. You have to be able to distribute aid before the fighting stops. Otherwise, you're useless, right? Yeah, this guy's always just in a real pickle. I think what they're asking him is, it's the fact that the UN warned about imminent famine for about half a year, and then the IPC came forward with an investigation, like a 30-page study, the ones who are specializing in that area in designating stages of hunger and food insecurity and famine. And then they basically said that there wasn't enough evidence to determine a famine had happened. And I think they basically stuck to that. So the predictions were all reined back, but the UN's a big organization. So the special rapporteurs, like Francesca and a bunch of the other special rapporteurs, came together with a public statement where they just said, anyway, regardless of the IPC's findings, that there was a famine. Even though, if you look at, this was 9th of July. So the IPC said that there actually wasn't a famine in June. But then in July, these UN, quote, experts said a famine is spread throughout the Strip. But this is not a study or like an investigation or anything. It's not stats. It's just a press statement. That's it. It's just a press statement. By people like, the experts, a special rapporteur in food, special rapporteur in housing, special rapporteur in the territories. But these guys don't have the same authority as the IPC. So it's like there's nothing there. And this guy's being asked, it's like, what's the actual UN's position then? Did a famine happen or not?
Is a qualitative scientific difference between hunger and famine. Famine is a very specific word. We have talked often about hunger in Gaza. And
the difference between famine and hunger or food or malnutrition is that famine is basically that it's like a level of starvation. There's a few qualifiers, but the main one I think is between 2 and 4 in every 10,000 dying of starvation every day. So for every 10,000 people in Gaza, for a famine across the entire Strip, you'd need between 2 and 4 people out of 10,000 dying every day. So stretch that to 2 million people. For the whole Gaza Strip, you'd be talking like thousands a week dying. And even in particular parts of the Strip, say if it was just in the north, you'd still be talking like at least a few hundred a week and maybe 1,000 plus every 2 weeks. It takes a lot for it to reach famine. That's what happened in Sudan. Like in South Sudan, they declared a famine there in August. It doesn't rule out like food insecurity. It doesn't rule out malnutrition. It doesn't rule out individual people starving or like even like tens or dozens or hundreds of people dying of starvation, but it's not like the IPC stage 5 definition of famine, I don't think was met. I don't think anyone seems to still hold that anymore.
I don't think anyone can dispute that there was hunger in Gaza. And I think we've seen it, and our colleagues, numerous UN colleagues, have come out and spoken to what they've seen with their own eyes. And as for the IPC, I think I've answered that question.
Guterres is all.
Yeah, he's not really. That's what I don't get though. This guy's just always. It's not a very difficult question because you can just say, like there wasn't a famine, but there was hunger. There was intense hunger.
And what others have said.
UN News Center. I'm not talking about the special experts or anything. I'm talking
because the IPC did. Yeah, that's what the IPC said there wasn't evidence of famine, but I think it was the press release that they're talking about.
The UN Central News Center
reported
extreme hunger and famine.
Well, there's a. We could go on for a long time.
Hey, why? Why is this guy so nervous? What the? This is also the same guy, by the way, who made me crash out because he wouldn't answer this question about tunnels.
Madame.
Thank you, Steph. Regarding the Gaza tunnels that were discovered and how much larger they are than anticipated, I was just wondering, given the UN's big role in Gaza, UNRWA, the role it's played in humanitarian efforts, has there ever been any indication to the UN that tunnels are being built under the city?
Not to us. I mean, it seems to me that all this infrastructure was built in a highly secretive way. I mean, I see it as an observer. So I mean.
Yeah, this is my theory. Okay, this is my theory. There's exactly one guided Hamas rocket in the entire Gaza Strip, and it has this guy's name on it, and it's getting launched as soon as he says something that pisses them off. Like, there's no other explanation, right? Why this guy literally is just talking like there's a Hamas dude with a red button next to their desk, ready to launch the only guided missile they have in the entire planet to find this guy's noggin and bonk him. Why would you say such an insane thing? It's such a strange answer. I can't get my nut around it, man. Why would he say that? Meanwhile, Hamas themselves, as early as like 2007, 2008, publishing away, talking about how they're martyred mujahid, who's a proud tunnel digger.
بالعمل في أنفاق المجاهدين فلا تجد منه إلا السمع والطاعة بل إنه فاجأ إخوانه بمهارته الكبيرة في هندسة وتشديد الأنفاق كان يعمل ليل نهار دون أن يرف له جفن أو تنحني له قامة.
Let him go.
وبعد ذلك تم
انتداب. It's just like, but this has happened with the UN as well, though, because I think UNRWA once, a couple of years ago, there was an UNRWA fight with Hamas. They had like a battle with the UN in the middle, and UNRWA were basically pushing because Hamas had a tunnel that was really close to a school. And I think actually in that one case, they managed to get it sealed. Like they actually fought with Hamas to get it sealed, but I'm guessing that only happens very few and far between because most of these Hamas projects are like they're not getting interrupted by the UN.
I mean, it's to think that the UN had any understanding of what was, any information about those operations. I think is clearly the answer to that.
Bro, they're yeah. Hamas made exactly one pager, one exploding pager. And they've attached it to this guy. And if he says anything to cross them, it's popping off.